What's our first Trixie fanfic?
The first one is a comedy, and well, it's a Twixie fanfic, and it's not in the pararomantic sense, more in the comedic relief sense. The fanfiction in question is called A Twilight and Trixie Story by Andrew Joshua Talon. Yeah.
Well, let's see what happens, I guess. And let's hope that our connections stay strong.
Yeah, let's not hesitate. Let us dive into it. This is A Twilight and Trixie Story by Andrew Joshua Talon. And this goddamn thing will load up. Thankfully, I'm getting my real laptop tomorrow, so that's taken care of.
Yeah.
Alright, anyways. Disclaimer, this is a non-profit fan-made work of prose. My Little Pony Friendship's Magic is the property of Hasbro. Please support the official release. There's note, just having a bit of fun with the Twilight Trixie shippers. Don't kill me.
Also, the reason why Inverted ended up mentioning about his laptop is because, well, your
hard drive breaked.
Yeah, your hard drive failed, and he's getting it repaired. So, yeah, he's right now on a backup computer. So, yeah, let's go.
And yes, Mofetta fanboy. Before I go on, I have seen that one deviation called Narcissistic Reflection. That what?
You just
what? I can't help it, God.
I know that.
anyways, back to Twilight and Trixie story.
All right.
Twilight Sparkle had encountered many a strange thing just opening her door ever since she came to Ponyville. However, none were quite as strange as the sight that greeted her one fine morning. Trixie? Twilight Sparkle asked. What are you doing here? The quote-unquote great and powerful Trixie stood on her doorstep, looking rather nervous. She refused to meet Twilight's eyes, which the purple unicorn found even more unusual.
I wonder what brings her to the library. And without an alicorn amulet, mind you.
Hello, Twilight, she said. I've been thinking a lot. I wanted to apologize for what I did. She raised her eyes up slowly. The great and powerful... I acted very poorly towards you. And your friends.
Twice.
Well... The fact she's stopped speaking in the third person kind of... Wow.
And not only that, I believe it's twice now.
So... Oh yeah, the first time being back in Trixie's new Big Red Life.
Well, give or take a couple more instances.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's all right. I forgive you, Twilight said, moved by the sudden display of sincerity. Oh, that didn't take too long.
That was quick.
She smiled, and Trixie smiled back. I was wondering if I could possibly stay with you for a little while. I'm trying to decide what to do with my life now, and I'd like to learn some real magic if I could, Trixie asked. Twilight frowned. Well, I can pay rent, Trixie said as she moved her face just a bit too close to Twilight's. And I can cook, too.
You don't have any money, Trixie. I can tell something's not right.
Twilight backed away a little. Trixie moved with her, a blush now visible on her face.
What?
Please, let me make it up to you, Trixie said in a lower voice.
Wait, can you repeat that?
Please, let me make it up to you, Trixie said in a lower voice.
I hope it's not sultry.
Twilight felt herself bump into a table. She looked back at it, and then back at Trixie. Well, sure, I suppose, Twilight said. Trixie beamed. Wonderful! She turned around and magically summoned a few suitcases. She marched them upstairs before turning back to Twilight. Once again, she was a bit too close for Twilight's comfort. I promise you will not regret this in the slightest. By the way, that purr was not intentional. It literally says here, Trixie added a purr to her voice.
What?
Yeah.
Oh man, this is getting a little raunchy. Ooh.
Twilight smiled back. a nagging feeling in the back of her head saying this was not a good idea. But ultimately, her heart won out. After all, friendship was magic, and they were magic users. Something good had to come out of that, right?
Knowing that this is a little bit of comedy, I bet this is not gonna happen.
And based on what we've read so far, yeah.
I'd say we have Admiral Akbar.
It's a trap!
Yeah, I think
Anyways,
that's about it.
You're letting her stay after what she did? Spike asked incredulously. Don't be like that, Spike. The Ursa Minor being awakened wasn't her fault. Exactly, Twilight said. Besides, she asked to learn from me and seems willing to turn over a new leaf. Who am I to say no?
Well, Spike knows a little bit better, even though he is
Yeah.
a little.
Oh, all right, Spike said with a huff. But something feels fishy about this. Come on, Spike, what could be fishy about this? Twilight laughed. She turned to get a quill from the desk, but accidentally knocked it onto the floor. Oops. She bent over and reached under the desk to get it. Twilight yelled and jumped up, hitting her head against the bottom of the table. A moment later, Trixie pulled her out from under it, looking embarrassed. Sorry, Twilight. Are you all right? Trixie, what happened? Twilight asked. Spike growled at Trixie, wrapping his arms around Twilight's forward leg. Trixie smacked her bottom, that's what?
What?
She smacked Twilight's plot.
What?
It's a friendly custom back in the village I came from, Trixie said defensively. A little smack to the rump of a friend, huh?
Your phone's going off.
Yes, just my mother wondering about the laptop. Yeah. Anyways, so yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, let's go.
Well, yes, it was a surprise, but it's alright, Twilight said as she got back up. Trixie smiled cheerfully and turned around, wiggling her rump.
Whoa! What are we, in an episode of Three's Company?
You can return the favor if you'd like.
Well,
Twilight felt that nervous feeling again. She very gently tapped her bottom. There.
I'm gonna take a wild guess and say Trixie will say harder.
Trixie looked disappointed. Right. Thanks, she said, and she headed off upstairs. Twilight stared after her, as did Spike, and they looked at each other.
Well?
Still think it's a good idea? Spike asked. It's just a little custom. Nothing wrong with it, Twilight said. If you say so.
I think I know where this is probably gonna go. And probably along the same lines as Screaming Twilight Sparkle.
Later that night. Twilight? Sorry. Twilight? Trixie whispered. Twilight moaned and rubbed her eyes. Trixie, what is it? I had a nightmare. Can I sleep with you?
Well, there's nothing obviously wrong with that at all! No! This is nothing sexual at all!
Yeah.
Don't shoot me!
Oh, sure, Twilight mumbled as she scooted over. Have all the room you need. Trixie got into the bed and wrapped her hooves around Twilight tightly.
Once again, ain't nothing wrong with that shit!
Twilight squeaked. Trixie, there's plenty of room. Good night, Twilight. Trixie sighed, nuzzling her neck. Good night? Soon, Trixie seemed to get to sleep, but Twilight got the feeling she was having one heck of a nightmare. She kept hugging her tightly and moaning.
What? Can you repeat that shit again?
Twilight got the feeling she was having one heck of a nightmare. She kept hugging her tightly and moaning.
fucking shoot me.
The next day, Twilight was helping Trixie unpack. She felt a bit concerned that she had packed so much, but she kept her concerns to herself. She opened one suitcase in particular and... Trixie? She lifted what appeared to be, out of one of the bags, a rope and what appeared to be a gag. Trixie?
Well, I think we already tell this isn't comedy anymore. I think we're going straight into a lemon kind of setting.
Yeah. That's nothing! Nothing at all! Trixie said quickly as she telekinetically grabbed the items and shoved them into the suitcase. It shut tight with a loud click. Just supplies! Yes, nothing to worry about. Off the suitcase went into a nearby closet, the door of which shut tightly as Trixie looked at the ceiling.
Yeah. I think we're going straight into lemon territory.
Twilight stared before slowly nodding. Right. Spike, who had been working with another suitcase, was unable to stop staring. Twilight looked at Spike. It's nothing to worry about. Right, Spike? She asked, and Spike blushed. Yes. Nothing.
What is he looking at?
Let's move on. Now, for this spell, all you have to do is focus on what you wanted to transform into. Twilight lectured as she gestured to a rock. Trixie's horn glowed brightly as she grunted in exertion. That's it. Come on now. Let it flow through you. Focus on that image. A rock lit up in turn, shaking slightly. Yeah. Come on. Make it something dear to your heart. That will increase its strength, Twilight encouraged her.
I'm gonna think... This one little suspicion says you're gonna regret it.
And with a pop of her horn, good! Very good? Twilight blinked. The rock had been turned into a small statue of herself with her hips and tail raised high into the air.
Seek medical attention now.
Well then, she had her hoof in her mouth and a strange look in her eyes. The statue, I should say. Twilight began as Trixie blushed. Very good? Thanks, Trixie mumbled. Sure, Twilight said with a raised eyebrow.
Getting a little kinky?
Where
Where are you getting this?
What?
Where did you get this fanfic?
FIMfiction.net.
Continue.
So it continued for several days. Holy crap.
What? Moves, advances, things that are
Yes.
kinky beyond
Yes.
what we are allowed to say?
Until at last, Twilight could take no more. All right, Trixie, what exactly is going on? Twilight demanded of Trixie in the main library. Trixie blinked. Whatever are you talking about, Twilight? Twilight held up a picture frame with a glamorous picture of Trixie winking out of it. For starters, you put this on my desk. A friendly memento, Trixie defended. Then there's the constant accidentally walking in on me in the shower. We're always naked. How is that a big deal? Offering to scrub me down. It's all in the service of my teacher.
Well,
Blush. Nightmares every night. I'm a restless sleeper. And finally, this. Twilight said as she held up a letter marked with the seal of Princess Celestio. Fuck.
what does it say?
Twilight scowled and turned it around to read it. Oh, God.
Let her rip.
My beloved student, I am so proud of you for having the courage to express your true love for this Trixie girl and have found such a wonderful...
Wow! Oh.
Though I didn't expect you to express it in quite this flamboyant a fashion.
I think Trixie has an evil plan up her sleeve. I'm starting to suspect, I think this is a trap.
What was she? She put down the letter and scowled. What was she talking about, Trixie? Trixie began, but was interrupted when Spike entered the library, carrying a stack of books in his arms. Twilight, you'll never guess what I found, Spike said. He set the stack down and picked one up for her examination while glaring at Trixie. Twilight's eyes bugged out as Trixie put a hoof to her face. In disbelief, she asked, "The erotic power of magic 2 mermaids' tails?"
Whoa! Trixie must be in heat!
Oh, boy. Yes. Well, I think I have my goldfish crying. I'll talk to you later. Bye! With that, Trixie ran out of the house.
Well, that was weird.
Twilight looked at Spike, who was reading through the book with a dropped jaw. Excuse me, dropped jaw. Jeez, no wonder she had that gag. Spike!
Wow! Naughty dragon!
But then Twilight groaned as one of her best friends entered her house. Twilight!
Which one?
Pinkie Pie.
Fuck!
It just got worse, Twilight mumbled. Pinkie Pie beamed happily as Applejack stepped forward. AJ2?
What? 2? What's next? The rest of the main 6?
Twilight, I just wanted you to know, no matter what you like, apples or oranges, we're still your best friend. Rarity then added, and we'll always be here for you, no matter what. Fluttershy then said, "Even if you are a twisted, bondage-loving, masochistic, bisexual nymphomaniac, we still love you."
I know it! It's a trick! Trixie's trying to make Twilight a bad name!
Yeah! I'll even throw you a coming-out party! What do you think about whips and chains for decorations?
I know it! Trixie's trying to give Twilight a bad name!
Oh my gosh.
And Twilight fell for it!
Oh, you think you have problems, Rainbow Dash huff.
What?
Let's go, keep going. Twilight managed to find Trixie sometime later, who was sitting on a nearby hill. When their eyes met, the awkwardness got so bad they looked away almost instantly. Hi, Trixie. Hello. Twilight trotted next to Trixie and sat down, clearing her throat. Look, Trixie, I'm very humiliated, weirded out, flattered, she decided. But the truth is, I don't feel the same way for you that you do me. Had to break it to her somehow.
One way or another.
Trixie slowly nodded. Right, she sighed. Twilight sighed in return before resting a hoof on her shoulder. But please know that despite this, I am willing to continue teaching you and be your friend. I really hope we can be close. Just, not that close, alright? Twilight asked. Trixie slowly nodded. Alright. I guess I just got a bit carried away. You see, I've never had anyone show me up like that. I've never seen a unicorn with such power or control or cleverness, so... She licked her lips and stared intently at Twilight. I got a little overwhelmed. Adoy!
Funny, that overwhelm would have later come back to bite us in the ass.
Yes, I noticed, Twilight said awkwardly, scooting back an inch or two. Which is all right, really. Just, have a little self-control, all right? And please know that you don't have to express your affection in, well, that way, all right? All right. Good, Twilight sighed. By the way, you still haven't paid your rent. Well, I should be able to do that soon, Trixie said carefully. Oh? Twilight raised an eyebrow.
Are those books, any indication as to what we're expecting?
A gray Pegasus with a blonde mane flew up to them. She pulled a package out of her mailbag, hoofed it to Trixie, saluted, and flew off. Trixie opened the package and... The proceeds! She said happily.
The
At
what?
Twilight's look, from the book I wrote. Well, how much is it? Twilight asked. Trixie pulled out the pay slip and hoofed it over to Twilight. That much? Trixie said with an easy smile. It's apparently a bestseller.
What?
Twilight's hoof sucked into her face and she didn't think she was going to remove it anytime soon. The end.
Holy fucking shit! I think she might have wrote 50 Shades of Hey! I think Twice broke now.
Pretty much.
That's a little...
And that was only the first one.
I don't... I'm gonna... I just can't. I feel like I should be doing something right now.